our next topic in covalent bonding chapter is electronegativity. Electronegativity is tendency of an atom to attract the shared pair of electron to its side. For example, if we take HCl, then we have one shared pair of electron between H and Cl atom. Out of the two atoms, Cl has more tendency to pull these electrons to its side. So it is pulling the electrons to its side. As a result of this, what will happen? These electrons, they will displace little to the side of the Cl. So if they are moving little to the side of the Cl will get partial negative charge, and they have gone away from H, so this will get partial positive charge. So in this case, Cl is more electronegative than hydrogen. So it attracts the shared pair of electrons to its side, and therefore shared pair of electrons, they will displace to the side of Cl, and hence Cl will get partial negative charge and hydrogen will get the partial positive charge. So this is known as electronegativity. Because of this electronegativity tendency, now this bond between H and Cl, which is a covalent bond, this bond will become partially ionic in nature because this gets partial negative charge and this gets partial positive charge. Now based on this electronegativity, now we are doing the next topic, dipole moment. This is a topic that we have to cover up. Now I'm taking non-polar covalent bonds. What are non-polar covalent bonds? For this we are taking two similar atoms, like I'm taking hydrogen and hydrogen. When these they come close to each other and form a bond by sharing of electrons, the shared pair of electrons are equally attracted by the two atoms because the electronegativity of the two atoms is the same. So shared pair of electrons, they are not displaced to any side. Hence no poles are developed here. Now these atoms, they will not get any partial negative or positive charge because electrons are just in the center of the two atoms because their electronegativities are same. So this bond which is formed, this is non-polar covalent bond. So these electrons, they remain just in the center. That is why this bond formed here is a non-polar covalent bond. Next is polar covalent bonds. So covalent bonds also are of two types, non-polar covalent bond and polar covalent bonds. Like this example of HCl. In this case, these shared pair of electrons between two atoms, they are displaced to the side of the Cl because Cl is more electronegative here. So because of this, the resultant covalent bond formed here is a polar covalent bond. So as a result of polarization, the molecule has got a dipole moment here. This molecule in which the covalent bond becomes polar in nature. So we say there's a polarization in the molecule, and it is a polarization, the molecule will have a dipole moment. So after knowing what is non-polar covalent bond, what is polar covalent bond, we are coming to this property, that is dipole moment. What is dipole moment? It is the product of the charge and the distance between the centers of positive and negative charges denoted by small d, and dipole moment we use a symbol u. So what is dipole moment? Actually, in simple words we can say it measures the polarity of the bond. Dipole moment measures the polarity of the bond. So this bond becomes polar in nature because of the positive and negative charges coming here. Now how much polar is this bond? To measure the polarity of this bond, we use a term dipole moment. So it measures the polarity of the bond, and dipole moment is equal to charge on these. How much is the charge on these? And the distance between the separation of the positive and negative charges. So mathematically the formula is mu equal to Q into d, and the dipole moment is calculated in the units dBi. dBi is a unit to express the dipole moment. Now we are coming to the next part of this dipole moment. Dipole moment and molecular structure. Dipole moment and molecular structures. Dipole moment is a vector quantity like HCl when we are taking. So if it is a vector quantity, it is depicted by a small arrow with tail on the positive end. This is the partial positive charge, and here we have partial negative charge. So the dipole moment is a vector quantity. It is depicted by a small arrow with tail on the positive center and head pointing towards the negative center. So for example, the dipole moment of HCl here, we are representing this HCl dipole moment using this arrow here, and the dipole moment value of this bond is 1.07 d. So since this is polar in nature, the polarity we will measure using the dipole moment, and that value is 1.07 d. That means HCl is polar in nature. But if we take polyatomic molecules, in polyatomic molecules where we have more than 2 atoms, if 2 atoms are there, bond is polar, molecule is also polar in nature. In case of polyatomic molecules, there will be more than 1 polar bonds, and every bond will have a dipole moment. So resultant dipole moment we have to see, that will be the dipole moment of that molecule. For example, water we are taking. In case of water, there are 2 OH bonds, and both these bonds are polar, and direction of this is towards the oxygen because oxygen is more electronegative. Both the bonds are polar, so resultant of both the bonds, O and H, is this side I am drawing, this is this side. So resultant here is equal to this side. This is a resultant dipole moment because both the dipole moments are towards this side, so resultant dipole moment also is towards this side. So both these OH bonds are polar, and the molecule also as a result of this water molecule is polar, and its polarity is very high, 1.84 d is the polarity of this. Similarly, if we take BeF2, CS2, carbon dioxide, these molecules when we take, there are more than 2 atoms here. For example, carbon dioxide I am taking. Carbon dioxide has 2 carbon double bond O. 2 polar bonds are here. This is partial positive charge and this one is partially negatively charged. So these polar bonds, this bond is polar, this bond is also polar in nature. The direction is towards the oxygen because oxygen is more electronegative. So these polar bonds have same value of dipole moment because both are towards the opposite direction. So whatever is the value of this bond, this side, same value of this bond is this side, but the sign will be opposite. So as a result of this, though the 2 polar bonds are there, but when we take the resultant of these, resultant will come out to be 0 because both the bonds polarity is cancelled out by each other. So the molecule will become non-polar in nature because its dipole moment is coming out to be equal to 0. So because individual dipole moments in this molecule, they are of equal magnitude, their value is same, but their directions are opposite to each other, and hence they cancel out. So CO2 molecule that becomes non-polar in nature. Next example, if we take polyatomic molecule like BF3, CH4, CCl4. These are symmetrical molecules. Symmetrical molecules means there is no lone pair here. In case of symmetrical molecules, when no lone pair is there and central atom to this, the atoms which are linking outer atom, they also are same, then in that case, overall the dipole moment of the molecule will be 0 because the dipole moments of individual bonds will cancel out each other. Like in case of BF3, in this case, the dipole moment direction is towards fluorine and resultant dipole moment will be this side, but the net sum of, when we take up the sum of these three dipole moments of 3 BF bonds, net sum of 3 dipole moments is 0, because the resultant of any two dipole moments is equal and is opposite to the third. So for this I told you the hint here is when molecule is symmetrical, there are no lone pairs with the central atom and all these outer atoms linking with the central atom are same, then in that case the dipole moments of all the bonds will be cancelled out and on a whole molecule will become non-polar in nature, like BF3. Now come to CH4. In case of CH4, there are 4 carbon hydrogen bonds. In this case also, the molecule is symmetrical because carbon does not have any lone pair of electrons. The dipole moment direction is towards the carbon here in this case. In this case also the outer atoms are same. That means the resultant of all these bonds will cancel out each other and on a whole the molecule will become non-polar in nature. Similarly, if we take CCl4, then also carbon does not have any lone pair of electrons and outer atoms are same. Here the direction is towards the Cl of this dipole moment because Cl is more electronegative, but still the resultant of all these bonds cancel out each other and on a whole the molecules, they will become non-polar in nature. So all these are examples of non-polar molecules where the resultant dipole moment will be 0. Now what next example? If I take CHCl3, now in this case the outer atom here, they are not same. Carbon is linking to the 3 hydrogens and one side with the 3 Cl and with one side here is hydrogen. So it's just like CCl4, but now here we don't have 4 Cl here around carbon, there is one side hydrogen. Direction of dipole moment is towards Cl here. But in this case, it is towards carbon here, this side, because carbon is more electronegative. So all the bonds are not able to cancel out the dipole moment of each other. And as a result of this, this molecule will become polar in nature. This molecule is polar in nature. And this very important question now we have here. Comparison of dipole moment of NH3 and NF3. Comparison of dipole moment of NH3 and NF3. Now both they have same geometry here. NH3 and there is one lone pair here. NF3 and one lone pair here. So it looks like NF3 is more polar in nature because F is more electronegative in nature. But NH3 here is actually more polar in nature. The reason here is both they have pyramidal geometry. In pyramidal geometry, they have one lone pair. Both here also in here also nitrogen has one lone pair of electrons. Now F here is more electronegative, so it appears that this NF bond is more polar in nature. It is more polar in nature, NF bond, because F is more electronegative in nature. And in case of this, the direction of dipole moment is towards nitrogen because nitrogen is more electronegative than hydrogen here in this case. Now see here, there's a lone pair also. So electrons are here also in the lone pair. In lone pair electrons, the dipole moment is outside like this. Even here it is outside like this. So if we see this thing, in this case the resultant of the 3 NH bonds, they are towards the same direction and even the lone pair is also on this side only. So resultant dipole moment will be this side only, and the resultant of the three NH bonds when we take and of the lone pair, dipole moment value will come out to be 1.47 D. Now in this case, resultant of three NH bonds when we'll take, these are this side and lone pair is the opposite side. That means some of the dipole moments will be cancelled out by this lone pair. Resultant dipole moment will be this side because more we have the direction of the electrons towards the fluorine side. So resultant is this side, and some of the dipole moment will be cancelled out by this lone pair. As a result of this, the polarity will decrease, and this comes out to be 0.24 D. Here all these are towards one side. Direction of dipole moment is towards one side, so they will add up here. But in this case, these are coming down and this is going up, so little bit dipole moment will be cancelled out, and hence the polarity of this one will decrease. So out of the two, the NH3 is more polar as compared to NF3. So this is a question. Now next we have partial covalent character of ionic bonds. Before this, in dipole moment we have taken the examples of the covalent bonds. So covalent bonds, they get partial ionic character. They get partial ionic character because of the electronegativity difference. So this bond is covalent, but it is getting ionic character. Now our topic is, we are taking ionic bond, but that will have some covalent character in it. So to understand this partial covalent character of ionic bond, we have a rule. That rule is known as Fazan's rule. So although in an ionic compound, the bond is considered to be 100% ionic in nature. Like we take NaCl, there's a complete negative charge, complete positive charge here. So it's considered to be, this bond between Na and Cl is considered to be 100% ionic in nature. That is complete positive charge, complete negative charge here in this case. Actually, it has some covalent character in it. Thus, just as covalent bond, they have some ionic character, ionic bonds also, they have some covalent character. And to understand this, we have a Fazan's rule. Now, what is this Fazan's rule? This says, I'm taking a cation here, Li plus, and an anion, for example, Cl minus. This rule says, when a cation approaches an anion, the electron cloud of the anion is attracted towards the cation, and hence this gets distorted. This is called polarization of the anion. Now to understand this, let's say this is a cation Li plus, and in this anion Cl minus, the electrons are here around this. There are electrons here, and initially the electrons, we say they are symmetrically distributed around this anion. So when this cation is approaching this is cation positive charge, so this will pull the negative charge. So it is pulling these negatively charged electrons. So when it is pulling these electrons, what happens? The situation is like, electrons now, they are not symmetrically moving around electron because they get attracted by this. So they little bit displaced to the side of this cation. So they don't remain symmetrically around the Cl, they are little displaced towards the side of this cation. So we say this electron cloud, which was symmetrical, now it gets distorted. And this is called polarization of anion. Anion gets polarized here. Polarization of anion. How anion gets polarized, how the anion will get the charge here. Since electrons displace this side, so this side in anion there is a partial negative charge. And the nucleus will be away because positive charge will repel the positive charge nucleus. So nucleus will be displaced this side, for example. So this side there is a positive charge. So because of the approach of this cation, the electrons of the anions, they are attracted towards this cation, and hence they get distorted. Because of distortion, now on anion there will be separation of charges. we say polarization of anion has taken place. Greater is the polarization produced on anion, more is the neutralization of charges on cation and anion. If more charges are there, more positive, more negative, more is ionic character. But now because of polarization, the charges on the two, they will get neutralized. So when the charges will decrease, what will happen? The ionic character will decrease and the covalent character will increase. How the charges, they will get neutralized here? This positive will be neutralized by this negative now. They are neutralizing each other's charge. Little bit charge will decrease and now from ionic character they will move towards covalent character. So the polarizing power of this cation and the polarizability of the anion, and hence the formation of covalent bond is favored. And there are some factors which will favor the formation of covalent bond. The polarizing power of cation, we have to understand what is the meaning of the polarizing power of cation, how much it can polarize this anion. And this polarizability of this anion, that it is getting the separation of charges. And because of that, there is a formation of covalent bond. This is favored by some factors like small size of cation. Smaller is the size of cation, more is the polarizability of anion and more is covalent character. Second factor is large size of anion. If it is there, it will favor the formation of covalent bond. Next is the large charge on the cation or more charge on the cation. These three factors, they will explain the covalent character of ionic bonds. Now come to first of all the small size of cation. If cation size is small, if it is small and if it is big. In this case size is small, so this positive charge will be close to anion. It can distort the electron cloud of anion easily. But if size of cation will become big, the nucleus will be away from the anion, so it cannot distort the electron cloud of this anion easily. So small size of cation means what will happen? The polarizability of the anion will be more by this cation. That means it has more polarizing power. This explains why LiCl is more covalent than NaCl. Anion is same in the two cases. Here we have Li and here we have Na. So here the size of cation is small. LiCl has covalent character in it. So why it has covalent character in it? So we are getting a reason from this thing, because size of cation is small. So it has more polarizing power. It can distort the electron cloud of this anion and hence there will be a covalent character in LiCl. Next is large size of anion. Now cation we are taking same. Suppose this is cation, same cation we are taking. Size is same. But now anion we are taking is a small and here we are taking a big anion. Larger is the size of anion, its electrons will be away from its nucleus. So easily this cation can attract these electrons and more will be the polarizability of this anion. But if the size of the anion is small, electrons, they can't get distorted easily because the nucleus of the anion is attracting these electrons. So this cation cannot pull the electrons easily. So if the size of anion is big, then the polarizability of anion will be more and hence more will be covalent character. Large size of the cation, large size on the cation. If the large charge is there on the cation, more is the charge, of course, more easily it can pull the electrons and more will be the polarizability of the anion. More is the polarizability, that means more is covalent character. For example, NaCl, MgCl2 and AlCl3 will take cation charge. This is +1, this has 2 plus, this has 3 plus. More is a charge on cation, easily it can polarize this anion and hence more will be covalent character. That means NaCl covalent character is less than MgCl2, MgCl2 is less than that of AlCl3. AlCl3 has a more covalent character. For a large size of anion also I'm taking example LiI, LiBr, LiCl. If we take, then out of the out of these three, Li cation is the same, anions are different. This has a big size. More is the size of anion, more will be the polarizability. That means Li is more covalent than LiBr. LiBr is more covalent than LiCl. So this explains why in ionic bonds also there is some covalent character. That is because of the polarizability of the anion, and this rule is known as Fazan's rule. So this is a topic, that is dipole moment.